We joined this process 1 year into what I would consider an abusive relationship with Adobe. It began actually several years ago when they said that when I called them online that a certain program was installed, was included in a package. And then it turned out that program was not included in the package. The over a month it took to get a refund that wasn't a full refund, etc., and the hours on hold kind of was the beginning of the abusive relationship. I recently removed Adobe from my startup menu, which is why I'm dealing with it now, because it was overheating the computer when I wasn't even using it, taking up 32% of the CPU just in background mode. And that began the long and unsuccessful to date process of trying to get Adobe off of my system. Having stood here for a minute, I'm going to close this, but this is a remarkable setup, right? I've just restarted my computer and Adobe was removed from my startup menu. So if I type startup apps, Adobe is off. So how did they just start up? So that's obviously. Now, Edge, Microsoft is also abusive around Edge. You can't remove it. It launches on startup. It's quite a quite a remarkable thing. So Adobe is just not listening. Is I guess what I would say there, because I've just gone into look at this. I've removed this just minutes ago. This is why this becomes such a big nuisance. It's popped up again. So this is an endless process of trying to get Adobe to stop taking up CPU. I have not used Adobe, I should be clear, in over a year. And so the big mistake, and why I'm making this video, is it's a toxic relationship. So don't get started with Adobe. They don't respect boundaries. They don't listen to no. Adobe will effectively, in a relationship paradigm, rape you to death for no apparent reason. And so, well, if I now Adobe will pop up again here, despite not being in the startup menu, despite not being contacted, it will pop up again. Now we can just wait for that to happen and see, because this is the problem. Nothing is supposed to be running, and 49% of my CPU is tied up, and it tends to okay, so we got this screen recorder taking up 21%. But going back to add and remove programs, Adobe has an endless loop, and I'll just kind of relay it. So you try and get rid of this, and they say, no, we can't get rid of it because we have another program depending on it. I thought we were adults here and could just get rid of things on our own computer. But that's the end of that, right? Are you sure you want to, right? So they want me to repair. Couldn't uninstall. So this is their little runaround, right? Are you sure? Now you don't get to see quite how toxic the relationship is unless you keep saying no. If you repair it and download more crap on your computer, then that's the end of it. This is the only Adobe program, though, that I supposedly have. And any respectful partner in a relationship just backs off. But now we're back to this. And obviously, I don't want to sign into my Adobe account. I don't want to update any details. I don't want to waste any more time with Adobe. But this is a nice little runaround. So I wasted hundreds of dollars trying to uninstall Adobe. Now, there is a way to get around some of this, but it's not 100% reliable, meaning Adobe has managed to launch again. If we go back to Task Manager, here we are. This is helping ruin Adobe's reputation. It's not helping if we open File Location, you can possibly short-circuit the abusive relationship. Possibly, I say, because I've already done this once and it only works until restarting. So it's still there. Aha, see, it can't open File Location because it's missing. So that's good. Now, this may get rid of it. It's remarkable, similar to a stalking type of paradigm, how hard you have to go about it. But that's because Adobe has long abandoned its interest in freedom of choice and what's good for the client. And they're just interested in hanging on at all costs. Will it actually quit though, right? But is that enough? It wasn't enough before, right? This is remarkable, right? If you compare, and it, you know, if Microsoft 20 years ago that crashed at every possible moment that you couldn't possibly get to work if you wanted it to, could come into the future and hire these assholes at Adobe to now this, well, this is great. You see, they couldn't even launch their their Hassle program. Let's go back and see if they're still relaunching into the space. So for the moment, nope, look at that. Isn't this amazing? Incredible. You think, Microsoft couldn't get Windows to work for years, and Adobe can get every possible thing under the sun to work for years, despite not wanting it to work, at least to work as far as taking up CPU. In summary, don't let them onto your machine.